button here. All right, this is like the earliest ever. I'm excited.
Okay,
Nice.
well,
It's
let's go
respect
then.
for our guest.
Come on.
Yes.
Let's not get excited.
You said you were excited.
No, I was excited. I said let's not get excited about respect for our guest.
Oh.
Wow.
You did
I
not.
Wow.
Not on
Ouch.
time because of the respect for the guest.
Wow.
We're on time because my wife let me buy.
Yeah.
tickets.
You can't dig up, Jeff. Just
All right, everyone, welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma-Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SEC or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone, report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
and I'm meant.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming to listen to our podcast. It is a haunting episode 237. No, it is still March, but right. But this happens to be a haunted room in the 1980s psycho thriller, The Shining.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Slow news
230 I
day.
didn't even think of that. 237. You're absolutely
Good.
right.
Yes, I am. So chances are you won't be as scared as I am watching the show, listening to this show, but you never know. It might be scary. Either way, grab your bingo card because I think you might actually get some cards you might get some spots this week. Definitely worth opening that card, especially unless you are being scared or driving. Don't do it then. Let's move right along.
If you're driving, you shouldn't care. You should be doing it safely.
That's what I said. You shouldn't be doing
No
your card.
bingoing.
No bingoing. You can think about it though. What would be on your bingo card? Mentally check them off. Mental, what are you working on?
Actually on Sunday, very early Sunday, very late Saturday, got in. I spent the weekend in LA, drove out and spent the night wrenching on Pantless. That's now 3-time winning Corvette. He's working in the Speed Ventures Corvette Cup. He's got his C6.
C6.
Yes,
correct.
C6 manual, and was actually showing me some neat stuff. He converted it to run ethanol because it's going to charge or anything like that, but it uses injectors, which you need wider injectors, and replaces the things using GM. And doing it is because E85 is $3.50 a gallon versus the $6 that we're paying out on this part of the country. Did the NASA Enduro Saturday with Mark Francis Racing, and we took third in class, which really was a war of attrition because we were 6 seconds off the pace, but we kept going and 2 other cars broken. And
Cool.
So I
I
think
am,
the
go ahead.
gigablast is
Okay.
is with you today.
I wasn't sure if
Yes.
it was me or
fair enough.
yeah.
It's
It
okay.
is
It's okay.
gigabyte.
We got it. It was just we didn't maybe get every fact.
And
Every
I am
other
It's like a
word.
normal
officially-
mental story, actually.
I'm officially 928 list.
Yay!
Yay!
Check it off on your card. Somebody sold a car.
Are you 914 lists? Because I see
Oh, no.
you're wearing the
No, no, no.
914 shirt today. So
Just- No, that project's still on one of the back burners.
awesome. Who's next? Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So I was cutting vinyl for my parents' political group that is diametrically opposed to my politics late last week, and my brother said, "Hey, what are you doing on Saturday?" And I said, "Well, nothing." He said, "Well, this is the weekend that Hoopties is showing in Maryland at the Maryland International Film Festival." So I thought I was supposed to work, but the work got canceled. So we changed our plans and we went down to beautiful Hagerstown, Maryland.
I don't think that's beautiful.
No. For those of you not on the East Coast, Hagerstown, Maryland is teeny, tiny. What would you say?
It is a stopping place on the way from like Harrisburg to Balt ZC.
Talk
And it's
about
like-
excitement.
Yeah.
Well, but
Wow.
it's like it is a town that if you were like,
Yeah.
I need to get dinner sometime, it's an exit. is what it is.
They have their own exit. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. My wife said, and she grew up on the Pennsylvania side in a town called Hanover, where they make the pretzels, for those of you who may have heard of that. She said when she was a kid, they had a Chinese food place, and her little town didn't. So if you wanted Chinese, you had to drive to Hagerstown.
Yep.
Anyway, Hoopties, the film that stars us,
Jeff.
Tom
Jeff.
Lemino,
Mostly Jeff.
Mostly Jeff.
the
We
great
make an
Gobs of
appearance.
Oil crew. I would say mostly Chris. I don't know his last name. Chris, Yuri, Tom Lemino, and me are 80% of the film. I apologize for being.
You don't apologize.
I
It's the
don't.
the
The
Jeff,
Jeff
show.
Wakeman Stowe, special guest Jeff Wakeman, featuring Jeff Wakeman musical guests, the Jeff Wakeman Players.
I'm like the guy, the journalist in Drive to Survive who has to explain everything. Like
Sure.
they cut to him going,
Sure.
Max
Okay.
Verstappen was
Uh-huh.
3 points down. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to do well this week. But anyway,
With,
so
the, with the side light, the view of like from this
Yeah,
angle,
exactly.
and you're talking to that way. Yeah.
That's not important. We covered the Hoopty film a bunch of episodes ago. I don't remember. But it won Best Documentary. Holy cow!
Yay.
It was the film is great. Small town films festivals are kind of weird. But yeah, we sat at a bar and we drank drinks, and people came over and went,
Are you Jeff Wakeman?
"You made the Hoopties." They didn't even know how to say Hoopties. The guy came over and said, "This is the director of Hooties," and he was like,
It's not-
"Hoopties."
Close enough.
You're missing a letter, but
Yeah.
cool.
So that it was fun. I will
Oh,
say.
wait, Eric wanted to say
Eric-
something.
Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Hi.
Hi.
I gotta say, best film in Hagerstown has got to be up there for Lemon's superlative that could come out of anything. So
Okay, you're
Yes,
probably
yes.
right.
carry on. Carry on.
There were about 100 films in this thing, and
Wow.
best documentary was, he said, like, for the only time, the second time it's ever showed, and the first time it's been in judged competition, he's pretty excited.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Jeremy, the director, and Renee, the producer, his lovely wife, are finishing out this season of competition, and then he is going to be able to start selling it. And he says, like, if he gets someone to stream it, he'll like Pluto TV or some other random place we might have some hookups for. He'll stream it. If not, he'll like go lemons race to lemons race with a bag full of DVDs and show it on the side of a trailer. He just wants to make sure once it goes through the season of awards, then he'll start distributing it. So
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah, Chrissy, why don't you tell us what you got going on?
I ran a Girl Scout event. Oh, actually, I assisted a teenager to run said event. I've been running for a couple of years, and actually now we're back in person, so that's fun. Eric, you might know about this. It's called World Thinking Day. It's fine. You go around the countries, you learn about countries, and that's good. So anyway, I now have passed that along and mentored one of my Girl Scouts to run it, which is awesome. And then I started doing my logistics for the race. So I had a lot of packing, and we made our work burgers, and I'm about to be unemployed. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Chris, what are you up to?
Eric's like, what?
Yeah, I quit my job.
New
You didn't listen
job.
last week.
Announced last week.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to watch our show.
Listen.
There's some litigation pending, so she can't talk a lot
Yeah.
about it. Had to punch
Yeah.
a couple dudes.
I know.
Getting a little lippy.
I know that goes, you
Oh,
go in front of the judge and they say you got to wear pants and all that stuff. So.
Well, I work from home totally, so I don't really actually.
Perfect.
So you can only see from here up on my video camera.
Yeah.
So
Business model.
not needed.
Totally, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I've been working on civics
Yes.
with plural, multiple.
Plural.
Yes, on ours, I've gotten a lot done. I made a really nice seat mount. I bought a mount and then hacked most of it up to make it better because I want it lower, and because
Angles.
better fit and angle and stuff. So it was pretty good. It was nice material, and I was able to hack it up and make it better well, and then attach the TJ seat slider to it. And this time I used all 8 bolts on the bottom of the TJ seat slider instead of the 4, because I thought 4 was adequate before. But after the Z crash, one of the sliders bent slightly. So I said, let's make this better. So all 8 bolts, got to be good. Anyway, seat is on. It fits great. It slides great. It's very safe. It's a little heavy, but it's mounted low and it's safety, so that's okay.
Cares about weight.
All the brakes and clutch are all bled and working. I replaced the brake pedal stop, which happens in many foreign cars that I've seen. There's a little rubber tip thing,
Mushroom looking thing.
Yeah, that sits in a hole in the brake pedal that it pushes against the stop for the brake lights. And if you don't have it, your brake lights are always going to be on. And the one in the Z fell apart while we were building it. The one in this car fell apart while we were building it. So if you have one of these, just go to the auto parts store or to Amazon and get them another replacement. They're like $3 and replace it now. And I found a second one in the garage later. I taped that up under the dash near the brake pedal, just in case we ever have a problem with that one. We've got another one.
It's right there. That's brilliant. Good on you.
Because otherwise that's going to be a reason you have to come off track, because your brake lights are not operating correctly. So fix that. It's really easy. What else? I required, I think I talked to us before, some cheap, kind of busted fiberglass flared fenders for the Civic to help cover up the wider wheels that are on it. So now I'm doing the work that is necessary to fit said cheap, busted up fiberglass flared fenders to the Civic fairly successfully so far. Still have to figure out how to mount the bumper cover to them so that it's not going to fall off. And that's our car.
Are these over fenders, like the steel ones live there and or do you unbolt the steel ones and bolt the fiberglass?
These are entire replacement fenders,
Okay.
the whole thing, but they don't come like with the holes drilled. And one of them, like, they both had cracks in them, and one of them had like a mount cut off. And that's just why they were a 2-digit price in my local town. So anyway, they're coming together. They got to get the bumper on and some supports in the bumper. And then the car's actually like drivable-ish. I still, so that was the goal, get it drivable so the Mazda can come home, because we have a race next week or week after that for that car. So anyway, then Vicky stopped by with the Garage Heroes yellow Civic, because
just driving by, just, hey, I think I'll stop by.
Yeah, that was planned, because they've been having trouble getting it running well. It's had a lot of hands on it and things still aren't right. And so they wanted me to take a look at it and kind of baseline it. So really, we did make it run right. We found and fixed a vacuum leak on the manifold. We plugged in the idle air control valve because that wasn't plugged in. Added a check engine light because the car didn't have one, which is unusual for a electronically controlled car to not have a check engine light. But that's what pointed us to the IACV being unplugged. So, but fortunately I had a spare junk dash harness that I was able to make a harness out of to make it work. And adjusted the fuel pressure down because it was way too high, like way high. So got that back to normal, and hey, wouldn't you know it, the car runs great. So also added a cooling fan and a fire bottle mount. So they are getting a lot closer when they left here than when they arrived. So I think that car will be ready to go to be mid-pack in B. So.
Will our car also be mid-pack B, Eric?
No.
Can we get that as our Civic that we building?
Are you? I don't follow anything that's happening. I assume you're rebuilding the hatch that you had.
Yeah. Since
Well,
killed
it's
Godzilla.
a new body, but
Right.
it's the same
Everything
equipment.
else.
Too much of a
that's
good
it.
thing.
Yes.
Now you've shot it way deep in the veins, and you need it. You need it.
Yeah. That's it. So
Seen it 100 times. Yeah.
well, we already had all these parts. Like, what else are we going to do? You got to put them in something. So obviously you've heard the articulated, soothing voice of our beloved fifth host, Eric Rood. Eric, what are you working on?
Everything at once, which, I guess kind of par for the course. Planning a wedding, which is coming up in about 2.5 months. So be the
Not
first,
daunting.
not
It's
daunting.
looming.
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 Sorry,
Not
that's
looming.
the word.
Not
Yes.
looming.
Is the word was
It
thrown at
is,
me
I
just
think-
ahead of going
Rising.
here. Yeah.
Rise like the coming morning sun.
Anticipating.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you are coming to Gingerman, that's going to be the first race at Gingerman I've missed in 10 years because I'm getting married. So there you go. Everybody's always trying to get rid of me there. So now you have. Congratulations to you too. Also coming up is pit race, obviously. So doing all the logistical stuff. We just closed the database, so you should have tech time soon if you are coming. And the entry list soon as well. We can talk about that later. And then buttoning up the next rally. About to send that to print for the route books in Colorado, the Rocky Mountain Breakdown, planned mostly by Brett Holdaway. Awesome guy, Brett Holdaway from Colorado. And I am finishing up the Rust Belt Rally for July, which is going to be super awesome, and have 2 killer car museums and a tour from Andy. And we're going to go get ice cream in Pittsburgh. So lots of good things happening.
Ice cream
Andy
and pizza.
Didorowski of Detroit Bus Company and Student Racing Team.
Yeah, who
Highly
will be at
recommend you find-
Pittsburgh, by the
yeah.
way.
Follow them on all of their social medias.
Yep. The Volix will return at Pittsburgh. So I'm
Oh.
told.
Excellent.
Okay.
The
I-
car the Kiwi couldn't kill, the
That's right.
Detroit kids fixed.
Brett will also be there judging. So we'll talk about that again.
I
Okay.
follow Andy on TikTok,
Yeah.
and he keeps doing tours of his car factory.
Yeah.
Like I keep waiting for him to do car stuff. And he's like, "Hi, I built an abandoned car factory. Let's look at the heating system." And I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. It's interesting. So there you go.
His building's an envelope factory, but it's full of cars. So I could see where you would make it.
He says it's an abandoned car factory in his thing.
Ah,
So I don't know.
maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
There's
Fake news.
certainly all
Fake
kinds of
news.
crap piled up
Yeah.
in there. It's pretty
Yeah.
spectacular.
Now, as you're going to Pittsburgh, watch out for Bailey. She's very unassuming, but she can wheel. She has ice running through her veins.
Yes, Bailey. I think you said you got
You
you got
clipped on there.
gigablasted there, but
with
yeah.
with a really important piece of like,
Yeah,
watch
with
out
the
for.
name.
That's what we heard.
I did say yes. I'm a big fan of hers.
Big fan. Yep.
Well,
So good.
Mental. Hopefully your internet can hear this.
God.
News and notes time. Hey, Eric, I know you're an expert at the American car thing, but can you do me a favor and describe the Lotus ethos?
Oh, simplify and hang by a thread over death at all times. I think that's the Lotus ethos,
about
at
right,
least
right?
the early ones. Yeah.
Simplify and add lightness.
Yep.
What would
Rain
be
by
the
Damocles.
exact direct opposite of that?
Like a Humvee, probably.
How about an electric SUV that Lotus is going to produce?
Yep.
I put it on the screen now for those of you who are watching on YouTube. I believe it is an Electre. I don't know how to say it. Eletre. Electre?
No, that's good. It's going to be French. So it'll be like Electra.
Electre.
Well, whatever it is. I don't know. It's just dumb. Just don't. Come on, don't do that.
Got a really big
Uh,
like
Call it the Eclat.
smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh.
Lotus, stop it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they realize everyone else is printing money by making stupid SUVs from sports car brands. They're like, we want money too.
Yeah, but this
And
is
that's
an all electric
'Cause
SUV.
That's all they're doing now is
Lotus?
electric. After the Amira, they're going all electric.
Oh, all right. There it is. The elect.
Colin Chapman is spinning in his grave in his very lightweight coffin.
I'm sorry, Colin.
But it is worth reading this article. Victoria
I should
Scott
mention.
Victoria Scott was formerly an engineer at NASA, so she knows her stuff. Actually, I've enjoyed reading some of her more technical breakdowns. She did also a write up of the Hyperloop, and suddenly everything made sense.
All right.
Well,
do
not
we
good
care?
car.
373 miles range, single charge, 100 kilowatt battery pack.
How much?
No price, not even
Many.
ready.
Many.
dollars.
All of it.
All the dollars.
Let's see what it
Yes.
is when it actually shows up.
Well,
And
that's the
obviously,
idea.
Everyone's
It's-
lining up for electric British cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Good
vaporware
lord.
at the moment. So there it is. There's no real
Good
news
plan.
here. I just thought we'd like to make fun of Lotus for a minute.
Colin Chapman's coffin, by the way, also known as a Lotus 25. So you can look that
It's
one up.
everybody who sits in it. It's their coffin. Everybody.
Yes.
Oh
Ah.
boy.
So let's get back on brand and let's talk about Eric's favorite automobile manufacturer, Stellantis. While other auto manufacturers have ambitious goals of being fully electric by 2030, Stellantis has identified the need for gasoline fueled engines in the future. And the company's goal of being 50% electrified, we're halfway there in North America. By that time, it seems a little more realistic. So enter the Hurricane, a twin
Wait, that's
turbocharged.
thunder.
Yeah. A twin turbo 3-liter inline six. Now, Stellantis says the standard output engine will deliver more than 400 horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque. The high output version is set to deliver more than 500 horsepower and 475 foot-pounds, putting it on par with BMW's strongest six-cylinder offerings. And I'd like to add that I appreciate Stellantis dipping into that Midwestern AMC route by just offering a decent, hopefully reliable base model six-cylinder engine.
Sounds
Pretty
like
nice
they've
one.
invented the 2JZ. Is that-
Yo,
Yeah,
shit.
pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Because
or they just took the petty cash model of turbocharging bulletproof six, and there you go.
when the Hellcat Red Eye whatever up my butt version of the Dodge comes out with this motor and it's 1,000 something horsepower, are people going to be like, but it's not a V8?
Yeah, to a point. Well, Dodge customers will, because they're Dodge customers. Somehow Ford
Exactly.
managed to be okay with the EcoBoost. People, they still have it's got to be a V8, but a lot of people are buying them.
How is a turbocharged six-cylinder gonna get my "Don't Tread on Me" flag flying when I'm going down the freeway? Damn it.
Yep.
Oh, well. Hey, in EV news, Mercedes has announced that they will accept full legal responsibility for the vehicle whenever Drive Pilot is active. So on certain highways below 40 miles an hour, a Drive Pilot equipped S or EQS class will take control of the car's speed, steering, and brakes to move you along in traffic. But there's one key difference: is once you engage Drive Pilot, you are no longer legally liable for the car's operation until it disengages. You can look away, watch a movie, zone out. If the car crashes while Drive Pilot is operating, that is Mercedes' problem and not yours. So this distinction puts Mercedes' semi-autonomous system distinctly ahead of Tesla's autopilot or GM's Super Cruise in this way. And it's not just a concept system. It's already approved for use on all German highways. And we know they are very lackadaisical when it comes to regulations.
True. And safety.
Right. And they're hoping to deploy in the US by the end of 22. So check off, Chris talks about insurance. But
I've said since the start, though, one of the key things to the difference between Mercedes and Tesla is Mercedes always had better lawyers because they used, Drive Pilot or driver assist. So it feels like instead of just engaging in names that made their system more powerful, they just really beefed up their lawyers.
Or they feel so strongly about their product or something.
and they felt
Or
strongly
something.
about
Yeah.
strongly about the W18. How's that working out?
I was gonna say they feel strongly about plausible deniability, but
Yeah.
the 601.
Have you been injured by a Mercedes automobile on autopilot? You
Uh-oh.
could be entitled to substantial compensation.
I actually thought
Have
something
them
here.
killed.
Like, notice you're responsible when it disengages. It didn't say when the driver disengages it.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Like, I imagine it like going, meh, you're gonna hit something, meh.
Yeah,
Disengage.
it supposedly will give you 10 seconds warning that it's going to stop, and then it's to become your problem.
That's what I'm
I'm-
saying. If
I'm
you're
sorry,
heading off the
Dave.
Right. You
cliff,
can't sleep then
it will
unless you're-
disengage
unless you're
immediately.
lightly sleeping.
Well, 10
I'm
seconds,
sorry,
that's
Dave.
a pretty
I can't
good
let
amount
you
of time.
do that.
Mhm.
Okay. In more Mercedes news, so celebrating the 55th anniversary of only the 8-time consecutive F1 constructor champion, AMG has a pair of special editions. First is the Mercedes AMG GT Track Series, comes with a 734 horse. That's stupid. Variation of the turbo 4-liter V8, but it has a flat plane crank. It is the most powerful sports car ever. Hail from the AMG. Comes with a special aero and tunable suspension with a Hewlin 6-speed sequential gearbox in place of the 7-speed dual clutch automatic. It's only 406,000 and some change, but it comes with air. It does come with air conditioning. I hope it comes with a lot more than that. And need a tow big. They also have a G-Wagon G63 Edition 55. It is a $19,652 package that adds 22-inch wheels, a matte gray finish, and Edition 55 lettering on the velour floor mats. Thanks, Haggerty. That's awesome.
Totally. Hashtag worth it.
Okay, let's move on.
Dubs, a wrap, and floor mats.
Worth it.
Velour floor mats.
That's
Okay.
dumb. It's in a G-Wagon. That's stupid.
But if you have Drive Pilot, you can take your shoes off and appreciate the velour interior.
That's true.
This is why we have Eric on.
So luxurious.
This is the wisdom.
Right.
of
So
Eric.
luxurious.
Just curl your toes up on the velour.
Okay. A subscription to Racing Junk's newsletter gets you all kinds of extra reading material, including the Hot Rod Hotline, in which, in addition to classifieds, how to, and a link to your favorite podcast, features readers' rides. Keeping with our proud Midwestern host, we found a hella sweet AMC spirit, and believe me, that's a phrase that isn't used enough. Jeffrey,
Eric, I don't know if you can see the
Jeff was
notes.
going to share it.
Damn.
Oh, I wasn't sharing that one. I was
Oh,
sharing something
okay.
else.
That's
I was
fine.
sharing
Bought for $100, built for the GRM challenge. This Ford Power Beast was constructed over half a decade ago for just $2,000.
There are not enough heavily fender flared slammed AMC spirits in the world.
And it's a beautiful color. It's
It
like
really
an orange
is.
brown.
That is sexy. I mean, I'm pretty partial to AMC spirits in general.
That wing, though.
I could probably do without the wing, but
I mean,
Fen-
it's a little
those
excessive.
flares, those rally lights, the removed front bumper, sign me up.
Eric, what do you think?
I'd daily that. I'd take the kid to school in that.
Oh yeah, you
I don't know if she'd be happy about it, but
I'd
cool.
swap the
yes, you would.
tires. I don't know.
That's Eric's blood running through her veins. She would beg him to take this.
Oh,
to
you could
school.
totally use those tires in Midwest, right? Pennsylvania, no
2
problem.
years, there's like 3 months of the year that would be totally reasonable. I love that they've done all of these things. He's redone all the body work. He's made it look really great, and still the 4-eyed headlights are pointing in 4 different directions.
I was about to say
That's
that. I was like,
strategic.
Yeah.
forget this thing. I'm not buying it. The headlights aren't aligned.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
they're
a
not even close.
feature?
I'm throwing it off
Yeah.
the island.
I think that's strategic. You
they're
got
eight-
one going that way, one going this way. It's just like Mercedes, right? Like you want to be able to see what's in your peripheral.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's good to have
adaptive
3 apex lights pointing at one side. I think
Right.
is the idea.
It's
like a
adaptive
deco.
sealed beam headlights. That's what
That's
it
right.
is.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay, let's move on. Upcoming races. Champ is at Daytona this weekend. Holy crap. 119 cars for Champ. Thought that was pretty good.
That's
That's
good.
big for
That's
them.
good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Eric. Shut your ears. 25
Doesn't
BM. No, I know. 25 BMWs. Again, not
That's a
so
ratio.
reasonable
not
ratio.
so boring.
Reasonable
That's
ratio,
okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
4
yeah,
Hondas, 4 Porsches, 24 Miatas.
That's
kind of-
boring.
No,
Oof,
now
kind of
we're
a-
getting a little
Kind of a lot. Okay, here's a great list of these: a Grand Marquis,
Hell
a
yeah.
300 ZX, an El Camino,
hot damn.
They'll be praised.
a 98 Contour,
Excellent.
a Lincoln MK8. MK
Is it an 8 or is it a 7?
seven? Sorry,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can read.
I know.
Yeah,
Opera
I-
Windows, Barnaby Jones.
and then a
Huh.
68 Dodge Dart. So the
Excellent.
list was pretty fun of the extra
Oh,
cars.
I
there.
know that car. The Dart raced at Road Atlanta. That's got to be the Zip Tide guys, who are hilarious.
Yes. Excellent.
Highly
Good.
enjoy those people.
Good team.
Excellent.
That is.
They'll have a good view of all the BMWs going by.
Yeah,
down the
it's
street.
got a 318 and a
Yeah,
4
I'm not
speed.
convinced.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
not convinced
gosh.
all those BMWs are going to get by them. I think
No,
there'll be a
not
couple
all, but
times
still.
when they're getting past, and a BMW guy's going to be like, "We bought the greatest driving machine. Why am I being passed by a Dart? Dear God."
That contours an SVT. It's got like 219 horsepower.
Until it inevitably breaks, and then you can't reach anything unless you have the tiniest little hands.
There was a team with one at Autobahn several years ago, and they needed the alternator went out. And that is like a 19-hour job, because you have to like undo all the motor mounts, like rock it forward. Like you can only access it through the wheel well when you do this. Like it's this delicate, terrible operation.
Sounds like a good endurance race car. Yes.
Is it a problem that I still want one?
Yes.
The problem is you
AER.
cannot find them anywhere. They're all
No,
gone.
They're all gone and they're all terrible. AER will be at Pit Race, which means transient gentleman Dave has the opportunity to stay there for 2 weeks straight. 44 cars, 28 BMWs.
That's boring.
That's boring.
Boring.
That's a big number there. 8 Porsches, 0 Hondas. What the hell? 1 lonely Miata and a Dodge Neon.
That was the only interesting car I could
They're
find.
going to clean the surface off for us, which is really nice of them to do. Appreciate that.
Oh. Or they're gonna oil it down for
Well, I'll
us.
say they're gonna clean the surface off, and then like you said, Gentleman Dave will be oiling down his, particular
Part of the paddock.
That's
yeah.
part of
Yeah.
the paddock. That's different.
his
Bill,
shanty town.
Bill Garage Heroes, Bill and Alex of Lemon's bartending fame will be there shaking down some of their probably tragic BMW.
I think it's Alex's BMW, or that
Is that what they're
one
doing?
he's working
Wasn't
on
sure.
at least. Yeah, I think so.
Is that a
Anyway.
E36 or an E46?
36, I think. I've only seen pictures from a distance through a blurry phone picture held up and taken a picture of that. And,
By a potato.
yeah, exactly. Okay.
Recent results.
Hey, Lemons is at NOLA.
Oh, was it?
Um,
No, sorry.
Well, yeah, was it NOLA? And apparently we were officially unseated by the closest finish in history.
Saw this. This
Well,
is
okay.
interesting.
More on that in a minute. But B class went to Onset Tetanus after breaking most of their cars. C class went to Team Swifty in a 280ZX. Judge's Choice, Rubber Duckers in a Miata. Heroic Fricks went to Miles O'Cock Racing in a Geo Metro.
Awesome name.
All
Awesome
around
team.
fantastic, right? I got screwed as Breaking Bad Racing Z36 after blowing up at NOLA again. Orc Choice, the awesome crew of Low Speed High Drags Focus, their Mustang. Well, Donnie had it. IOE went to Black Unbeauty and in an awesome Imperial from those crazy Cajuns. So that must have been excellent. They also got the Road Mangler, Cleverly Hillbillies in a Merc Chevy Benz truck. And tell everyone this one's for winning. The local trophy was NATPAD NatPad, I guess, a Ford Probe. And Halloween Meets Gasoline went to Escape Velocity in their Dodge Dart. So Eric, tell us the story of the winners, please.
Where you want me to start? At the top?
Yeah, whatever.
Wherever.
you
Well,
feel is the
I'm
best part of the
I'm
story.
genuinely interested because I saw snippets of the story about
Yep.
the overall winners, and that was the nail biter to the ragged edge.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts. Ginger, when they came through BS, they were like, we want laps. We want somebody else to have a chance. 'cause-
Ginger Race Team, the
Yeah.
only other team that has a chance of beating us every year for ultimate dominance.
Right. They've won the last 3 races in the Gulf, and they're like, this is whatever. So
And everyone says, "Oh, it's a GT5 series." He's been evolving that car for like 10 years.
it's an M30 89 E34. There's nothing special really. They just drive it well. So Party Girl in their Mercedes C230 compressor.
8-time Formula One champion.
Mercedes, yeah. So they had a 4-lap lead starting Sunday. They ran out of gas at their first stop and threw all of that away. And it was kind of back and forth for all of Sunday. And then I think they had about 30-second lead on Ginger with 20 minutes to go. Ginger kind of whittled it down, eventually overtook them. They went back and forth for 2 or 3 laps. What's really crazy about it is that the last driver for Party Girl, when he got in the car, the tires were already corded and they didn't have time to swap them. So he drove on the ragged edge, praying that the tire would hold air. Don't really recommend that, but it was all the way down to the steel belts and probably, I don't know, a couple micrometers away from exploding. But he made a pass at the start of the last lap, finished 0.8 of a second ahead, was hanging on for dear life on the last lap. There's actually video of it on Ginger Race Team's YouTube channel. You can go watch the end of the race on there. What's completely bananas about it is
Wait. I can link that.
You can.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. There you go. What's bananas about that is our timing and scoring guy came up to me after the race and said he threw the checkered flag at 3:30 and 1.1 seconds. So if he'd been 1.2 seconds faster, they would have had to go around again and make another lap. So right at 3:30.
Wow.
Yeah. And so crazy race. And both drivers in the video, you'll see it if you go watch it. They're both like pull up and they're like pointing and giving each other thumbs up, like super into it. And right after the race, the guy from Ginger brought over a little pour of scotch and they toasted each other and did the whole racing stories thing. It was kind of great. Something
So
I've
Ginger
literally never
won.
seen in. Ginger did
By-
not win. Party
No.
Girl won
Party Girl won by
Yeah.
0.8.
by 0.8 of a second. Yep. Closest finish ever in Lemons. So sorry, guys. Sorry,
I
Chris.
love that. I love that story. I love that they both got what it's supposed to be about. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, they were both giggling and doing all the racing stories. And, you were here, but I was over here. It's the hand thing. I don't know. But it was great. Everybody was like, I've never seen people like up against the fence. There's the catch fencing there. Just like people like all along, like watching racing happening, which you can do in NOLA also because it's flat. You can see the whole track. But people are super into it. It's a great finish. Pretty nuts.
That's excellent.
It's like real racing at Lemons. Is that like allowed?
I wasn't really sure what to do with it. Like at the award ceremony, I was like, I don't know, this is weird.
Well, they were good.
It was
Had
a
good
hell of a
attitude,
race.
so that's all right.
Yeah. Nobody was being a turd about it, so it turned out okay. Class B winners was Tetanus, who have literally been trying to win Class B for 14 years. That's a nice desktop you got going on there.
It's supposed to be showing me the show notes.
That's definitely a great way to
Okay.
share.
I know. I hate my computer.
I'm just
Well, you could
looking
just
for the
stop sharing.
shortcut to
Yeah,
Pornhub. I'm sure it's there. Anyway,
No, I wanted to show off the painting because that's
I
got to
can do
be
that.
Party
Yeah.
Girl's bribe du jour, and they're again.
Oh, it's Party Girl who does the painting?
yeah, it's the
Yes,
team
these
captain's
are-
wife. Yeah,
Yes, these are amazing.
it's really
Mental
dark on
has
my
one
screen. Looks
behind
like I'm not wearing pants. So, oops.
It's
But
NOLA. No one cares.
Don't
Yeah.
kink shame.
yeah,
So
fair.
we have some sort of samurai ninjas.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, it's Sam Jack. So they
Oh,
do
oh,
they do cartoons. So the Rick and Morty one, obviously, that is behind Mental, and this was
okay.
Samurai Jack slicing lemons while the bad samurai. I don't know. I haven't seen that show in forever,
Yeah.
but
Okay, Mental, we're pointing. We got you highlighted. Point at your behind there. There you
Yeah.
go.
It's Lemons Rick,
Lemon's Rick. That's great.
Lemon's Rick. Yeah,
of course, with the Penn Star from the 8-time Formula One constructors champion.
Yeah.
there
If
you
they
go.
keep losing, you can't keep doing that because it just makes you look sad.
There's I know,
Okay.
but there's still the yeah.
Oh, come on.
Uh,
We're not taking this turn right now. We're in the middle of the show.
So who took it home? Because I know you're getting married, so I imagine that's not going up in my house. But Sajeev already has one of the Kronos and Kanos
Yeah.
from The Simpsons.
I think that Kim took it.
There we go.
It was either Kim or Jeff Daniels, who's a Houston native, and
Excellent.
I'll get the next one. I think. Hopefully at a race I drive to, so then I can, actually
That would
have
be
it.
great.
Yeah,
To ship it.
Otherwise, it's like a Top Gear episode. Look, I bought you a present.
yeah, it's exactly.
I don't even know. How do you even, you can't bring it with you on a plane.
Oh yes,
Right.
no, that's how this one came from Houston. Is
Oh,
I
is it?
went to Walmart, bought bubble wrap and brown paper, and wrapped
Oh.
the entire thing. And I had to take it to the oversized luggage
Oh,
for check-in. Wrote fragile all over it. Sajeev was going to mail it to me if they wouldn't take it. So
Ugh, what a
Nice.
mess.
All right.
Excellent.
Yep. Tetanus 1 Class B. They've been trying to do that since 2008, literally, and this car for 10 years of that. So that was good to see. What else? The Rubber Duckers were a bunch of University of Houston grads who had absolutely no idea what they're doing. They bought the car. It's that blue color for Miatas that people go bananas about. It's like that light blue.
that's it's named after
Laguna.
Yeah, they're all named
Laguna
after,
Blue. Yeah.
They're all named after racetrack.
And they bought it from a dude who was on house arrest and awaiting his trial date. So that was
Cool.
pretty sweet. And they ran it on the stock tires, stock tire size. So it was on 175 60 14s.
Yeah,
Nice.
14s. Good luck.
Pretty great.
Oh.
They got 7 black flags on Saturday because they were getting twofers. So
Oh no.
yeah, but they had a great attitude. Miles O'Cock, we gave the heroic fix. They didn't really do anything super heroic, but they
Other than naming your team, Miles.
Yeah.
O'Rourke.
they had raced at Atlanta. They took the EFI off of the Geo Metro 1 cylinder and put a Volkswagen Beetle carb onto a piece of Harley exhaust, and then used
Totally
that
gonna
as
work.
an intake.
Wow.
Literally fell off in the middle of the race, and all of their tools had been forgotten at home by one of their guys.
Oh no.
All they had was like the colored Pittsburgh Harbor Freight sockets.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nice.
And,
That's what Jeff uses.
yeah, yeah.
That's true, but yes, that's
So
what I take
that-
to the track.
That was great. They had to fix their car with like 2 sets of sockets. It's pretty hilarious. Breaking Bad
with loan
blew
of a
up.
tool anywhere in the paddock.
Breaking Bad blew up again. Nola kills that car for whatever reason. They also took it to the French Quarter after they fixed it, like at night, and drove it around. And
Cool. Cool.
Probably ripped burnouts and came within inches of getting arrested, knowing those guys.
Hanging out the window. Watch this, losers.
Brian Wagner and Low Speed High Drag did a Mardi Gras theme that was pretty great. The Net Pad guys, I've always liked them. They couldn't be farther from giving a crap about the actual racing part. So I was talking to them at BS about it, and being like, yeah, these guys don't care. And the one dude was like, look, been doing the series for 7 years. We found all the good restaurants around the racetracks. We don't want to be wrenching on the car. We got dinner reservations.
Wow. Wow. This is an expensive way to go out to dinner with
Yeah.
your friends, but
Yeah.
hey, that's okay.
Yeah. So we called the trophy, just tell everybody this is for winning. It's just pretty great.
Oh,
Cute.
in the Charlie Sheen world, they are winning.
They absolutely, yeah. They're doing it right. And then the Halloween Meets Gasoline presented by eBay Motors. Didn't go to EVR.
Contractual plug. Now I have to tell YouTube that there's paid. Never mind. I'm joking. Keep going.
Fine.
We love eBay Motors. We love eBay Motors. Love them.
Got to consummate
uh,
that. Anyway,
Escape
so-
velocity.
it actually went to Jen and Rob, who got married, and that's like the best theme you could possibly have. So
Yep.
Actual marriage.
an actual marriage on the racetrack at turn 16
Oh,
at sunset.
gorgeous. If you haven't seen the photos,
I haven't
Yeah.
seen this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
sunset, the march
There's a
behind
random
them.
dude in a suit in a furry
Bear.
costume.
Yeah,
Bear.
Ted Fort was the ring bear.
Got it.
But up,
That's-
get it? Bear.
And Johan was dressed in the leopard print suit as
God.
I
Johan
did
does.
see him in his
Yeah.
suit. I didn't realize that was an actual
It's
wedding.
part of the wedding. yeah.
Neither did he. He just put it on.
Yeah,
like, oh,
he just
Yeah.
showed up, and
I
then they're
mean,
like, "You should
par
be
for
at
the
wedding."
course. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
no, it
surprising.
was a great time. The wedding was a lot of fun. Yeah, good weekend. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know how deeply you want to get into it.
Oh,
Bob,
that
it'll be in
was
the
a good
video.
wrap up.
We don't want to ruin the
Yeah.
entire wrap-up video.
Yeah,
We've
I will
we've
say
a good
the
teaser though.
the I Got Screwed Awards should have gone to the Orca and their Cadillac, which absolutely burned to a crisp.
Oh no.
Long story. But we think it was a fuel fire. It's so far gone that there's really nothing to go back.
Was
and
it on
tell about.
track? Was a human in it?
Yeah, he got out really fast, as you might imagine.
Great. That's
Um,
good.
When
Hey,
you have
that's good.
motivation.
Yeah, but the fire eventually got into the fuel tank and then it burned
Wow.
for 45 minutes. They had to get like fire trucks from the local fire department to come put it out.
Wow.
Which is great because NOLA put a brand new racing surface down and we were the
Oh.
first people to use it.
Oh.
So on Friday, the Flaccid Chassis guys with the Pontiac G6, they came through doing a you get a car Oprah
Yes,
theme
of course,
because she
yes.
gave out G6s and it
G6s.
was just perfect. And you may remember from last year mental that when they won Class C, first of all, they didn't know they won, which was the
I
best.
do remember that. And then
And
the
then
transmission.
we sent them down to penalty to do like the parade, and it just puked all of the transmission fluid everywhere. So it managed to do this on the test day, like 4 hours into the first group using it all the way down the front straight. So
Oh, Kyler, we're so sorry. Please have us back.
yeah, so the G6 did that, but the fire with the CTS, the guy managed to not be on the pavement, which is
Good. Well, you
That's
just
good.
burn a nice crisp in the is there grass there?
yeah, there's grass, there's lots of grass and mud to mud.
Well, I just thought it was like a bayou. Like, I don't know.
It is.
Yeah.
They built it into a swamp. It's great.
Right. So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure how much grass there was actually.
So the whole deal with the I Got Screwed thing for them, they weren't present to win. They left, as the car was a charred whatever
Reason to leave.
But they were in BS inspection talking to me about a car they wanted to build, which is of course the Dodge Caliber SRT4 that they have
Nothing wrong
found.
with that.
Excellent.
And they were talking to me about that car in front of the Cadillac that they race, and the Cadillac obviously was not very happy.
I was
about
like,
it.
screw you.
And decided,
No.
I'm being replaced with a Dodge. I'm going to light myself on fire.
and
This
now-
is my
and-
true world.
and now you have to build a Caliber. You deserve that. So
Wow.
there's a whole
Oh,
rethink. So
I am the standard of the world. I'm not Stellantis.
yeah. So hopefully we'll see a Dodge Caliber SRT4 from those guys. They
Has
found
a-
one for like $2,000 and they're like, is this too much money to be,
No,
good
don't
for
worry about it.
Lamborghinis?
Exemption.
But
The
if
best
someone,
part, if they build this after it's run its course, they can put the entire thing under the not the Avenger, not the
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 Neon
fucking
had it.
no the fucking golden edition. The
Yeah. Rob Blagojevich.
Blagojevich.
yeah, which car? Okay, yes,
That's
yeah.
the Caliber.
That's-
Yeah,
that's
that is the
this one.
Caliber. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're halfway there. Yeah, because
Yeah.
a $2,000 Caliber is worth $500.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
In this market, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has a Neon SRT4 ever competed in Lemons?
We've had a couple of them. They do okay. They do okay.
The
It's
SRT
forged pistons and stuff.
Yeah, the
fine.
SRT4 Jihad, I could imagine, would robot arms right up your ass for driving one.
Yeah, but like every single person who's had one of those, it was their car, and then they drove it until it was just totally ratty
Oh,
and covered in
absolutely.
vape juice and whatever. Like they are so nasty at this point. It's like
Yeah.
the early WRX, same kind of.
Well, and I think
Oh,
that would
and-
be how you get it so cheap is, hey, I'm taking it to this race series. Look, yeah, we're gonna race it, but look, man, I'm racing Subarus. I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Take it, bro. Take it.
I think all the SRT4 people are now driving Subarus again.
That's probably right.
They're back
Yeah.
to it. Yep. Okay.
Or Veloster ends.
Yeah. Well, no, not the
Oh.
ends. They're driving the turbo
The
velocitors
turbos,
and
right,
putting
the turbos.
crackle
Yeah,
tunes on all of
they
them.
can't afford the ends. Yeah,
You know what's
exactly.
funny? I make the jokes about how an 11-year-old 100,001 mile Kia or Hyundai is completely worthless and is totaled out for the smallest thing. I saw a 2011 Genesis coupe in the junkyard, like had been bumped a little bit, but you know, it was like it's right there.
Yeah.
Something-
Genesis Coupe is like
Something minor totaled it out, and it's
Can't
They're
wait for
they're
someone
in
to come and
Illinois
bring
or
a Phil
some-
Collins
someplace
theme with
else?
that.
that's right.
Who's
Just the
in
drum
studio?
fill for
Yep.
14 and a half hours.
Or you could also, there is a whole bevy of old school Peter Gabriel costumes that you could wear like
Yeah.
to the BS challenge that Eric and Phil would get.
Yeah.
Maybe
I-
Jay.
I
Nick
have
would
to
just
be
look at
Phil.
you, go, what band are you talking about?
Yeah. Sledgehammer, man. Just
Is that Peter Gabriel?
it's Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
But
He was the
Same
original.
thing, isn't it?
He was the
No.
original lead singer of Genesis.
Of Genesis.
And he had
Yeah.
so many ridiculous costumes that they kicked him out. And then Phil took over vocals.
Great.
Listen
Brought,
up.
minute, brought to you by
Listener,
Minute.
Thank you.
I'm going listener feedback.
Great.
Okay. Mental posted a picture on Insta and there was a fold out toolbox that
Tackle box.
held tackle box. Yeah. That was held all of your horse stoovers, is what I call them. And
Horse ovaries.
oh yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Meat and cheese and crackers. You can put them all on different levels and you open it up. So it was pretty awesome. The lovely Kathleen of Bruce and Kathleen posted up that she loved it. I did too. Thought it was so cool. And Matt F said too cool cootery.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Close.
whatever.
Yes. That was
That's a way
the,
to class up your Lunchables right there.
Yeah.
That's right.
and you don't have to worry about them getting all mixed up towards the end. It's great. That was the Anderson brothers of Palmar Racing.
If it's a tackle box, maybe it can catch your shark coochie.
Wow. That was reaching a little too far.
Like it.
Oh,
I'm
It's
laughing
rolling.
too hard.
It's your turn.
It was
You're
the
next,
pause
Jeff.
that did it. I posted up pictures of the Hoopties movie, and I showed the lovely director and producer holding up the trophy, and the Maryland Film Festival last weekend. And a lot of people asked when they can get it and when it'll be released and all that. Like I already mentioned, soon. We don't know when, but very soon. Details, and I'll mention that Jeremy said he'll come back on the podcast when it gets released, so that way he can tell everybody when it is available.
outstanding.
Excellent.
I posted a what you working on while I was at Pantless Matt's house in LA before the NASA Enduro. And we got a lot of responses. Dave M working on that e-trike. Adam N taking drastic measures to get longevity out of the Focus front hubs and bearings with Mazda 3-speed front suspension swap in progress. And he can make the claim of having listened to every single episode of E1R. So he's 100%er. Except for episode
Sorry.
10. I don't think it
Sorry.
made the transfer over. Travis B. Yeah, exactly. Travis B.
I
finally unloaded the
probably-
race trailer from Barber. That was how many months ago, Eric?
Ooh,
Two.
Yeah. Car's been in the shop. He just had to get the rest of the gear out. So it's not even like the car was blocking him. Joseph K. swapping interiors. I saw this on a Protege because hand interiors are horrible. So he was swapping interior, which is but terrible. And while removing it, he found, in addition to sticky change, moldy sticky change,
Ooh.
$27 in one
Nice.
car.
That's a lot.
$150 in the other one. And Michael K working on that super secret IOE build. It's all ready except for numbers, and they are hard, and he's out of white paint. And Eric, you may miss this car. And
I know.
the
I know
okay,
of it. Yeah.
okay, all right. You've got the only acceptable excuse for missing the introduction of this car.
Yeah.
It may be birth of a child. I'll give you that one. Our buddy 3D printing wizard Cameron L was down there racing at NOLA, and that Fiat, the X19 X19,
Yep.
showed us a picture of him grilling, listening to our podcast while using our koozie, which was awesome. Thank you. Appreciate everybody interacting with us. We do and love seeing what you're doing.
10 is missing? I
That's what he said.
probably can find that.
Don't bother.
Not
Just
worth it.
call-
No
just
one cares.
call-
Do it. I'm gonna
10 was
post it.
10 was still terrible because
was
mental
terrible. Don't
was
listen to it.
still in a hallway and we didn't know what we were doing and we drank too much in the beginning. So
sounded like this.
yes, and we justified drinking all night every time we had a podcast. We thought
Yeah.
it was funnier.
If you need to know what I sound like, literally look at anything I've done for lemons for the last 3 months.
Good. And apparently we had a new friend, Alice, who ran the NASA Enduro in a Legends Roadster. A lot of positive response for her, and you can find her at Belladonna Racing on IG.
Nice.
Cool.
We also sim raced.
We did. E1R is at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Quebec. First race was touring cars, and they've added the Elantra now. Jeff, did you pick, or not the Elantra,
I
the
did.
Veloster in addition to the
did.
Elantra? So
I
you've got
paid
that too. Excellent.
$7.95 or whatever the hell they charge for a car
Eh.
these days. Actually, I
Excellent.
think it's 15, isn't it?
I think it's
don't
like
know.
15.
15.
I tried
yeah.
to come to that race, but then I sat down 9:00, grabbed my Oculus, put that on, and battery was at 0, even though it had been plugged into the computer forever. And so need to check that earlier next time because that was that. But anyway, first race, who was it? Jonathan Samuel won the first race, and in the touring cars, second race, we were in NASCAR Xfinity cars because Dave had a league race to prep for, and he came up with a win in race 2. So hopefully he'll do all right in his league race.
I'm pretty sure I was faster in the Veloster because you just put the gas down a little bit in that like Toyota Supra Xfinity, just right into the wall. It was completely uncontrollable. Just spun the back tires right into the wall.
Great. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
And laugh at Jeff crashing in person. Yeah, so join us.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
every
Every
Monday,
Monday.
9:00. Hosted races. Find us under E1R. Password is there. It is ST43, our favorite brake pad. We only put it there to keep out people who don't listen to the show. So if you're
who are there
listening-
for the SR.
Exactly. Hey Eric, do we have any idea when the next Lemons iRace is happening? Are they still happening? What's going on?
April 16th. Yeah. Once a month, we still do them. So
Okay, cool.
did you guys listen to or watch the last one? It's actually pretty good.
I
Had,
watched the last one actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Steph
That's a-
Schrader was on talking about the Volkswagen 411 in her Lemons Rally.
Whoa, Steph Schrader was talking about a Volkswagen 411.
I know. Hard to imagine.
My pearl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was good. It was a good,
Good.
long episode of basically a long podcast talking about the rally. It's pretty good.
Did it make you miss the days of the DFL podcast?
A little bit, yeah. I was actually I'm going to try and get Bradley Brownell on sometime in the near future, so it'll be
Excellent.
in the
You know,
back.
he's local-ish.
He is, yeah.
Now. So yeah, he's moved.
Yeah,
to
I
the
forgot
Midwest.
he's in Ohio, and like I was in Ohio. I posted something from Youngstown on Instagram. It's like, are you like an hour away? Like, what the hell, man? And I was like, oh, you don't live in Reno anymore. So yeah.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
We also have the Gladiator No Rules double header at Laguna Seca.
That's
is
that's
what's
the
happening on
that's the
April
one.
16th.
Yeah, on the 16th.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite events. 'Cause,
Those are great.
it's just
Awesome.
stupid and it works out really well.
Yes.
Hey, you know who's never stupid but always works out well? Chrissy's mom.
I don't know what she's gonna say to that.
I mean, it's not bad.
I just repeat whatever was last
Oh,
said.
that's
Somebody
she
says
actually-
a sentence. I
Yeah,
mix
she
it
actually
up.
repaired something that I did on her car the other day. I put new wipers
Oh.
on in a big hurry. Like it's like the car sitting in the parking lot. Chrissy's talking to her dad. It's like, I've got wipers. And I put them on the car. And apparently on the back, she went and used the rear wiper and it wasn't working. Like it worked, but just was smearing everything. Apparently I had neglected to take the protective strip off of the blade. So she fixed that.
You know who always remembers to take the protective strip off the blade?
Nope.
Oh,
Anyway.
all right.
so
Hey,
2 hours
perfect.
later, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we even like have an introduction? Eric is here. He's been here the whole show.
Yep.
Hey, let's be honest. That's why you're listening. Half of the people that have tuned to this episode, well, I'm only listening when Eric's on. So
I'm
Hell of a
sorry.
rubber.
Yeah, that's rough. Shit.
we should pretend to do an intro. So, welcome Eric Rood, everything bagel of the 24 Hours of Lemons, soon to be wedded man who is no longer in the basement of Kandahar.
Right.
The woman has obviously cleaned up your life because there's like books and organization and a guitar.
Yeah, you can't see the rest of it, so it looks really good.
You've like got a trimmed beard and like washed clothes. I mean,
If
it's
you
amazing.
if you follow any of his social media, in addition to all the genuinely interesting architecture
At
stuff,
the
he
Rusty
also
Road.
has an insanely cute dog, and I know a thing or two about cute dogs.
Awesome.
And he's a good dog. That's right. I don't know. What do we want to talk about?
We got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about races. We're going to talk about rally. We're going to talk about, I don't know, whatever else we want to do.
How are your socks this season?
They're gonna be good.
All right, there we go.
Excited for the White Sox season.
And I'm gonna actually have to start paying attention to baseball, because in Las Vegas's ever inspiring attempt to spark outrage in Oakland, we're probably taking that team too.
It's a good plan.
Wow, that's going to be a
Excellent.
problem for the people in Oakland. They're going to come and shiv you.
But they'll get here, they're like, we're really mad. I'm sorry. Here's a ticket to the buffet. Oh, all right.
I've seen those people in Oakland. It looks like they can use a meal.
Well, I mean, given what I understand about Oakland A's games from none other than Judge Phil, the pregame ritual there is to sit in the parking lot and take monstrous bong rips before you go in. So I
So
think
they're
the
gonna fit
buffet
in-
ticket will be a great
Yeah.
distractor there.
They're gonna fit in fine here in Vegas. It'll be great because you can take the bong rip on the way to the game. It's
There you
legal.
go.
It's
That-
fantastic.
that's
yeah.
diametrically opposed because being a football fan, I was really talking about the fat, shirtless guys who go to the Raiders games in face paint. Like, oh, free food? I'm set, dude.
I don't
That's
think
cool.
you've been watching the Raiders games here, because they're not fat shirtless guys. They are, a lot of silk suits,
No, in
couple-
Oakland.
couple
it
of
was
gold
filthy.
chains. Hey, no, forget about it. All right. Yeah.
No. In Oakland, they had the scariest fans. But anyway, that's excellent that your socks are gonna be good. I showed my lemon socks that I happen to wear,
Ooh,
unironically today.
there they are. Ken
That's
would be
good
proud.
podcast right there.
Yep.
That's feet. That's what everyone comes in the YouTube for.
All the,
So
all
let's.
the feet, all the
let's-
feet people are gonna be commenting now. Ooh, show them again.
Oh dear God. Let's
they
move this
stinky?
to something.
You're gonna move to
more-
ASMR soon. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's either move to ASMR or you go to pedal pumping, and there's really no in between for that kind of sock place. So,
This is taking a wonderful turn.
yeah, this is it.
Well,
Let's talk about great things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
like the Tojan. That was so great.
Yeah. Man, somebody had tipped me off about that car. I think it was Corey Dickman who took possession of that car after the race, because the people who assembled it were like, yeah, we're done. We don't need this thing. But yeah, it was a Firebird that was done up with like a body kit, looked like Ferrari. Well, yeah, there it is. Magnificent, and retailed at like $55,000 in the 80s. Like,
Yes.
totally bananas.
It was meant to compete with Ferraris.
Yeah. So geez. I mean,
I love
finding
the-
something like that is just so good.
We just need someone to come up with an Excalibur or something in
Yeah.
that vein.
Yeah.
Would be wonderful.
Could you race an Excalibur? We'd have to get John Pagel to sign off on that one.
I mean,
yeah,
they're all
you
like-
probably could. I'm assuming they would just like fold in half at some point. Like, it can't be very structurally
First lap,
sound. Yeah.
second turn. I don't know.
Yes. Mhm.
That
Or
and
what's a Zimmer
Zimmer,
Golden
yep.
Spirit? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
the Quicksilver.
I saw
And,
the Quicksilver for sale,
Yeah.
like locally, like sitting in a guy's front yard. It was so freaking. They wanted so much money for it. I think it was like 14 grand. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's a Fiero under there, right?
Yeah.
Not even a good Fiero. Sid Jeeves Quicksilver was driven to Houston from California and could not get over 80 because there was a headwind.
It's It's fine. Perfect race car.
That makes a great race car. What are you talking about?
I feel like
Good.
I would give budgetary immunity to anybody who really wanted to run a Zimmer or an Excalibur, but there's obviously some hoops to jump through there. It's like we have the ban on kit cars, but mostly that's a ban on Volkswagen kit cars because there
don't want
is
them to
no
die.
car in front of you.
You should not
Yeah.
die. Yeah.
Well, the
Now,
Mercedes
for-
Gazelle ones are usually not all that much better
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, Pinto based, but you've
however-
removed everything except the fuel tank. So you got a lot of good going for you there.
You can take a kit car and admittedly many people have quite successfully on a Lemons Rally.
Yes, several kit cars have won Lemons Rallies. So there you go.
And we have to do this dumb game. And I'm sorry, because occasionally we do pick up new listeners. Please explain to our listeners the joy. And I say that without any sarcasm, because I love Lemons Rallies. That is a Lemons Rally.
Yeah, it is a long distance scavenger hunt in crappy cars. Basically, there's no price, maximum or anything like that. Your car is just judged based on its, a few criteria like how old it is, where it came from, and what we know about you as a crew for the car. It's all very subjective, but you get a point total that kind of stands in for your $500 limit. And, the crappier the car, the more points you get to start. And then you get this list of checkpoints that's bizarre and hard to parse and sends you to places you wouldn't normally go to look at things you normally wouldn't give a crap about. And you do that for 3 to 6 days, and everybody gathers at the ends of the day and talks about how awesome they are and what broke on their cars. And you do that, get to the end, have a beer with your friends, and come back and do it again. It's a good time.
What if I don't want to buy a car just to do a rally? Are there
That-
options?
There are options. We added a rental car class this year. So there's a box of books just off camera that is the prize for winning the rental car class. And it is 1 second.
Books. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, it's Nothing Handles Like a Rental Car by Rich
Ah.
Duisberg from the UK, who's a very funny man. And the books are great. So they're signed copies of them from Rich to the winners.
That's
But you
wonderful.
can rent a car, and then there's criteria for that. Did you rent it from Enterprise? You get no points. Did you rent it from Bob down the street? You get a bunch of points. How many mismatched
Turo.
tires are they? Is it a Stellantis product? These all factor into the points, and then it's a separate class. So we had our initial winner on the Southern Fried Heaps Rally with a Chevy Spark, which is a miserable car
hell
for a
of a
road
car.
trip.
That's terrible.
Hell of a car.
Still better than an Altima, which you had at NOLA, but
Yeah, I did have a rental
Uh,
Altima. Boy,
How
Ultima is
can
still
anyone
better than
buy an Altima if they obviously never drove anything? Like when the Camry exists, how do they sell any Altimas except to people with terrible credit? I don't
that's
know.
it. That's it entirely. It is a
Yeah.
credit game. So we have one of those rallies coming up. It is the Rocky Mountain Breakdown, leaving out of Denver. We're actually doing registration at the Rambler Ranch just outside of Aurora, Colorado, it's been in episodes of Roadkill. Phil shot photos there. It's all AMC, all Rambler. It's like a big junkyard, and they also have a museum on the property. Super cool place. So.
That's going to be a lot of windshield time. That I'm looking at the map. There's some
Yeah.
big distances going on there. Is it mostly interstates? Or are you keeping everyone on the back roads?
Nope, back
How's it
roads
going?
as much as we
Excellent.
can. So it's Denver to Santa Fe to Flagstaff to Moab, and then back to Denver. We're ending at Bandimere Speedway in a parking lot.
Give me those cities again.
Santa Fe,
Denver?
New Mexico from Denver, and then west over to Flagstaff,
Okay.
and up to Moab, and then back across the Continental Divide. So
When you leave Flagstaff, you're going to go over a mountain pass that is like 13,000 feet.
fine.
There's no fail in this plan, Jeff. I don't
There's
see
totally
like-
fine. Totally
like,
fine.
Flagstaff is higher than Denver.
Yeah.
Bring a
It's gonna be
jacket,
great.
everyone. It's going to be cold. And if you have a car with fuel problems that doesn't like thin air, know how to tune your carburetor. That's all I'm saying.
Pretty much.
Totally be fine.
Yep.
You don't need to tune your carburetor. You take a piece of cardboard and you just block off most of the air cleaner.
There you go. Classic.
Or-
That'll never fail.
Someone with a squirt gun with a tube full of gasoline in it. Just keep adding a little more.
No, it's already going to be too rich.
That's true. Oh well.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. Doesn't matter. Crimp the fuel line.
Yeah,
trim
that'll
it
do
down.
it.
Good. Well,
Boy.
I'm looking to hear a little bit more about the Rust Belt Ramble if we're on the subject of rallying, because
Yeah.
trying to prep the Corvette for that, because nothing's finer than a crossfire injection Doug Nash Corvette for a Detroit themed rally.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is one I'm planning. Like I said, Brett Holdaway and Jeff Stobbs do most of the planning, but I like to plan this one because I don't know, I'm a geek about this stuff.
Well, it's you are a very, we say this not mockingly, a very proud son of the Midwest.
That's right. That is true. So we're gonna do registration at the Detroit Bus Company on Friday morning. There should be an optional tour the night before that isn't technically part of the rally, but it'll be open to Lemons people.
Totally worth it because they're building an all electric Mercury or no,
Yeah.
Buick, all electric Buick.
Yeah. So it's going to be a bus tour like we did last year, but probably not quite like we did last year. But I'm leaving it up to Andy. So God knows what we're going to get. He'll think of it, 6 hours ahead of time. We may protest Saturn again. I don't know. We'll find out where Mary Barra is and probably pester her.
Yes.
Um,
I think because Mary Barra was an engineer, I
Yeah.
think you have to find her and ask her math questions.
no, I'm sure
'Cause she'll crush it.
yeah, she's way smarter than me. That would not go well. So we're going to Dayton from there. Still working on all the paperwork, but the meetup that night should be at America's Packard Museum, which is in an old Packard
Oh,
dealership.
that's fantastic.
Excellent.
Place.
I'm
Super
told
duper
that's
cool.
actually one of the best automotive
Yeah,
museums. It is.
I've heard that thing
it
is
is, yeah.
fantastic.
And then from there we go to Pittsburgh, all the way across to Ohio. Just getting that little tiny bit of West Virginia that sticks up like a weird
Mhm.
finger, because it's West Virginia, so there's weird fingers. It's just it's
Totally.
how that place
Hey,
is.
hey.
Small
Relax on the
hands.
West Virginia busting. That's a very important state.
I like West Virginia a lot, actually.
Do you
It's
know
one
that
of-
they invented the toothbrush in West Virginia?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
if they
amazing.
invented it anywhere else, they would have called it the teeth brush.
We spent a lot of time in rallies in West Virginia.
Yeah.
With nothing but a sea beat to
Yeah.
entertain us.
And
Wearing-
Jeff.
Wearing dresses.
I don't have meetup set up for that yet. I was gonna do an arcade, like a beercade, but,
Yeah.
Hell
their,
yes.
but their occupancy is like 40 people, so that's not gonna work.
Mm.
So we'll probably get ice cream in a neighborhood somewhere, or we'll go to the Church Brewing Works, which is a brewery in a big church. Super cool. And then from there we end in Buffalo, and I just talked to the director of the Pierce Arrow Museum there, which is also one of the best car museums in the world. So that's where we're going to end. You should be able to get a free tour out of that place as well. So
Excellent.
two really
So
cool
it's-
car museums and four really cool Rust Belt cities. So
Not just a great way to spend 4 days in really cool cities. You're going to learn something.
yep.
You got a pen there?
I do.
Write down this word and Google it later. Foamhenge.
Foamhenge. All right.
Foamhenge. There is
Wait.
we passed this on the Babe Rally back in the day. It is a foam version of Stonehenge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I believe it is also really close to some sort of foam Jurassic Park like item. They'll be
Yay.
fantastic.
Any idea where it is?
No, it's
Bridge-
right in that area.
Natural Bridge, Virginia.
Natural Bridge, Virginia. Yeah, it's right.
Yeah,
right,
because
not
I
too
can
far.
Google it now. It's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to write it down with
Thank
a
you.
pen.
This
It's all right.
Russ-
I write notes and then I completely cannot parse them ever. So it's fine.
Good.
we should
Adding to
mention
that.
the
It's like being in college again.
That's fine. The Rust Belt Ramble is July 15th to July 17th.
That's right.
If you are interested in attending, register on 24 Hours of Lemons before July 8th.
That's right.
So you
and
play
it's
You're
$425. So it is a bargain at twice the
Cheap.
price.
And if you're curious what that's all about, literally follow the hashtag Lemons Rally on Instagram, and you will see all the teams that have participated in this, and it's special lunacy.
It's gonna be a good one. Pretty excited for it. So
Excellent. So
go on, Chris.
now just some other rally. We're on rally. Let's keep going with rally
Well,
stuff.
Yeah,
I'd say-
I
I'd
wanted
say
to go back and talk.
Yeah, we did skip a question that it's my fault we skipped it. I do want to hear the answer to that one.
Yeah, so I believe it was Southern Heaps that had the multiple Studebakers.
Oh, not that
Oh,
one.
man.
And
I wanted
the
to talk
s-
about the
the Studebaker museum theft and the towing kerfuffle. Like, what's the
Yeah.
story there?
yeah,
Tell
so
about that.
these guys, it's actually the father and son who run Harris Hill Road, which is the racetrack just outside of Austin. They wanted to bring a Studebaker. They actually raced in Lemons a few times, most recently with a Maserati by turbo with a Buick 215 in it.
Probably
excellent.
an improvement.
As you do. But they wanted to bring this bullet nose Studebaker. It's kind of like a nice-ish one. It's restored, I think. But they wanted to bring a trailer and go, fine, that's fine. You don't get to win if you bring a trailer. That's basically how it goes. It's not in the rules, but it will be someday. And we just kind of keep it
Spirit.
anyway. So their water pump seized on their Studebaker V8, I think. Maybe as a straight six, doesn't actually matter. But they knew somebody at a museum nearby, so they like pull up and they're like, "Hey, can we work on this here?" And there is a 50 Studebaker in the museum, same bullet nose, same engine, and all that. And it had been like a movie prop or something, so it was crashed, so it was never gonna run. And they're like, "Can we have that? The water pump?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. You can leave me like the bad one. I'll just put it on there, and then
Nobody will
looks-
know the difference
Yeah.
because we probably don't even have water
Yeah,
in it, right?
yeah.
And it's sitting on the floor of the museum.
Yeah, so they swapped the water pump in that they had stolen out of a museum car. And
That's amazing.
it's pretty great, yeah. And then NSF had their Chihuahua Express, I think, Chrysler Saratoga.
Yeah, that thing is fantastic.
Which is great. They only had to tow that one when they ran it out of gas. Otherwise, it ran the whole time. So, pretty
That
awesome car.
has performance rallied across
Yeah.
Mexico, so that's
Yeah.
a legit vehicle there.
It might have done La Carrera. I can't remember which
I thought
one.
it was La Carrera, but
Yeah,
you said
okay.
Chihuahua, so I was going with it.
Yeah, it was one or the other. I can't remember which, but either way, it's done like the real crazy road racing in Mexico that is absolutely bananas. So,
Oh, that's awesome. So the new rules will basically have like a if you tow, you DNF.
yeah, I
above the
mean,
points.
it's kind of, we'll give you negative points for doing that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Negative
'cause-
10,000 just so you don't win.
Yeah, because I mean, that's lame. And the whole deal with Steph and her Volkswagen is she drove the whole thing, and that car won't go over like 61.5 miles an hour on a good day downhill with a tailwind. So, she did it the hard way and was miserable, which is how you win a Lemons Rally. But you don't have to be miserable. You can. That's only if you really are dead set on winning, and the winner gets a free rally. So you get to do it again to yourself.
She had Stunt Granny with her too. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason Grafton, aka Stunt Granny.
Oh, I thought Donnie was with her.
No. Donnie was helping Jeff. So he was working for us.
Okay. See, I was amazed that thing, that 48-mile horsepower car was actually going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I thought Donnie was in it.
No. Jason and Steph were the winning crew. So very well done to them.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we've talked about this before. The BMW 3 Series is the easy button for the racing, like a Caprice Classic. The big B body.
B-body.
Yeah,
Mhm.
B-body.
Absolutely.
That
yeah.
that is the rally version of that. That is the easy button, the gigantic thing that just coasts over the road.
Do you want the square one or the round one? Do you want the one that looks like an
Yes.
armadillo?
The round ones seem to be more abundant still, but we do see plenty of big square body ones. Crown Vic's also good, but the B body seems to just have the right amount of highway squish to it. So
the tires on those things
Yeah.
are just enormously rubbery and enormously tall.
Well, they're
Yeah.
235, 75, 15 truck tires,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah.
That's more or less it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's the same thing we ran on Connie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all we could get that would hold up to the weight after we blew all the other ones. We had a
Might have been
Goodyear
some
Wrangler
dry rot.
RTS on one rear, like a Futura Dakota on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, that does remind me, going back to the Lemons race at NOLA, the guys who won IOE with the Imperial, they went through 8 front right tires on it. It's awesome.
What year was the Imperial?
It was a 77, so it was just before they downsized it. It was
Yeah.
it is a full size Chrysler. There were 4 feet of overhang when it got towed in on the flatbed. So it's pretty
Well,
great.
any year Imperial, we do welcome everything from the big ones to the terrible K car based ones. That all
Yes,
lovely.
absolutely.
They were down to 2 snow tires, one of which corded itself in 10 minutes, and then they finally slapped on what looked like a spare tire from the 70s, like it just kind of cruised around taking checker. But
How does one get a snow tire in New Orleans, Louisiana?
I
That's what
don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
The team
well.
captain is based in New Orleans, so I don't understand how it came to pass, but there it was.
That is a great. Now taking us
Excellent.
back to the race at NOLA, and we saw the wrap up video for Sonoma, and even last year
I'm
early
gonna
on
keep talking. I'm going to share a picture of a 77
Yeah.
Imperial.
So trying to maintain, which you guys have done an excellent job trying to maintain, and this is a 2-door. They had a 4-door.
Oh, therefore this is the only one I could find.
But trying to maintain the true roots of Lemons.
Mhm.
eBay, the title sponsor, has brought the Halloween Meets Gasoline prize.
Yep.
And not only do we want to hear what that is for people that have never done a Lemons race, or maybe they did one 7 years ago, or something they're thinking maybe we're getting too real racery.
Yep.
And has that really kind of affected the overall vibe of the paddock?
A little bit, yeah. We haven't seen the level of commitment to it I think we were hoping for. I think
It's because you
Give us
haven't come
time.
east
I
yet.
Give
was
us
just
time.
about to say, I think that Pittsburgh might be the arms race we're looking for. I know another team who isn't you has a lot planned, so I think it's going to get really interesting really fast.
We're gonna need till New Jersey on this
Yeah,
one. But
okay.
Yeah.
we've
We
got
are-
something going.
We are missing integral parts of our team. Everybody in the Cressida and me for Pittsburgh. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
We need
It-
the full crew to do it right. So,
fair. So the Halloween Meets Gasoline prize is $1,000 cash prize and a trophy for the best, theme, commitment to it, wearing your costumes through the whole weekend, making people laugh, reminding everybody that, we had a good race at NOLA, unprecedented one basically, but we're not there to impress IMSA scouts who really are just people looking for money anyway, but that's another story. But yeah, nobody's, just to make sure everybody understands that we're not saving the world here. We're holding
Nope.
a stupid car race.
We're freaking out
so,
squares.
that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. So
I just have a couple questions before we move too far off the subject. Now, you said makes the paddock laugh. What
Yeah.
if you make everyone in the paddock slightly uncomfortable?
yeah, I mean,
Will that
6-1. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know why you feel the need to ask that question,
Yeah, really.
but the people who know you guys know that is your MO when you're firing on all 3.5 cylinders. So
Or
Yeah.
referring, of course, to Jeff walking around in a bathrobe and his tidy whiteies, wearing a captain's hat with a giant brandy.
don't
sifter
forget the
full of-
mustache. The mustache
of-
is an important part.
full
Yeah.
of keys, asking people if they wanted to come to the key party.
Is that your wife? It's a hot number. For some reason, the captain swinger had a Boston accent.
yeah,
I don't know why. It just came out that way.
because everybody knows that the Boston accent is the sexiest accent. That's why.
So, when we were reflecting on some of our past themes,
Mhm.
and we spent a decent amount of time in S&M gear, and we remember that.
And then they went racing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then we picked a theme, and then never mind. But there were points where some of the other paddock people were not happy with us, where it was like, oh, do I really like those guys are doing the whips things again? Like, we're hoping that vibe has changed. Like, people are now like, okay, the costumes are actually important.
Yeah. I think I think it's starting to come back to that.
Good.
What's really interesting is that we're getting a lot of new people back in Lemons. It's kind of been the same people for a few years, and we're starting to grow again, which is really encouraging, especially given, that
Yeah,
the
your
economy is
paycheck.
doing weird things. But Pittsburgh, for example, I took notes on this. We have, I think, 9 completely new teams, and the cars kind of tell the story. So there's an '84 Cutlass,
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So good.
an S10,
Always approved by
a
the
2000 Buick LeSabre that a guy is bringing in lieu of his usual birthday blowout at his house. So I don't
This is
no
gotta
I
be
idea
don't know
good.
what
what to
that
expect.
means.
I don't
Right.
either. It's just like Padapalooza used to be my birthday party, but then COVID happened, so now I'm bringing it back at a race.
Yep.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Hey, dude.
Yeah,
What's that team's name? So the crew can go find it and say, welcome
think
to the insanity.
Padapalemons, I think is this.
Padapalemons. We
Yeah.
Chrissy, we need that on the gram
Yep.
that weekend of the race.
There's a Dodge Omni, like an actual
Nice.
Dodge Omni.
Nice.
A third one.
There will be 2 Dodge Omnis at this race.
That's
which,
wonderful.
Ooh.
That's the
Tremendous.
third one in limits.
It's a good
Yeah.
number.
There's 944. Yeah, fine. A Saturn SC2, a Forester, and 2 Crown Vics being run by student teams, new student
Nice.
teams. So there's one from Cleveland State, and there's one of high school students, and there's the Grand Marquis being run by the kids from
The-
Penn State who are
the
totally
electrical-
clueless. So,
The electrical engineers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't
so
spell
I don't.
geek
We're
without 2 E's.
we're drawing people who get it. I think they're showing up with the kinds of cars that we want to see, and they're bringing pretty good attitudes, and most of them have no idea what they're doing and are excited about that. So
That's awesome.
so introducing them to the themes then is their
Is the right way. to go.
initiation. Yeah, it kind of puts the right attitude into them and says, oh yeah, we can't drive for shit, but we can do that, like that.
I want to give a shout out. I think it was the Sonoma video that just got out. Was it the Sonoma video that just came out?
Yeah,
Somebody had silver is a theme,
man, that goes
And-
back.
and that went fantastic. We have talked about the one we once had a conversation about let's make fun of all the people with terrible themes and
Yeah.
paint our car black
Yeah.
and just write terrible theme on it.
Yeah.
And then everybody said they won't get it. They'll
Yeah.
just think we're doing a terrible theme.
Yeah.
So I love that they painted their car silver, had everything silver, and said silver is a theme.
Yeah.
That's
That
cool.
was a courtesy of Jeff Stobbs last year when they debuted that car, because they were like, we're airline pilots. It's an airplane. And it was just silver. It's like, and so Stobbs, every time he saw me, would be shouting at them, silver's not a thing.
Now that crew did dress up in costume,
Yeah.
and they brought
yeah.
they brought paddock mates, and they made like a cart, and
Right. They had a drink
probably-
cart.
but-
Yeah.
yeah, and I think the story was they were so busy working on the car, their spouses went, we should probably do a theme because they're not going to get to it.
Yeah. So then
Great.
one of them was an
Silver, not a
artist
thing,
and did the SpongeBob weird face thing with the small letter capital and wrote silver is not a theme.
Yeah.
it was great. So
That's
that became
awesome.
their theme. It was great.
That's awesome. I did notice that the Sonoma video came out like Sonoma was only like what 3 weeks ago. This is
Yeah.
like this
2
is like
weeks,
this is
2 and
like
a
a
half.
this is like a new thing. Like you guys getting your videos out like in a timely like we're not gonna have to say who won every race if you're gonna have to like the videos out so soon. Is this like a new thing? Did like Jay like crack open his wallet and like hire a video editor? Or
Well, we do have a video editor. His name's
very
John
good
Griffin,
one.
and he's
Yeah,
very good.
Good miracle worker, actually.
But with this one, this is shameful sponsor pandering, basically. So you want the back end story here. eBay wanted just kind of a, what have you guys been doing media wise? So we're like, you're mentioned in all of these videos. Get the video up. So
which
so
is
you're just gonna go back
fine,
to your
because
regular, like,
we-
the video will come out whenever the frick we get around
Well,
to it.
we
it's-
love eBay Motors.
yeah. So there's a certain rhythm to it. I got home Monday afternoon. I'm not gonna want to sit down and write out a script. I haven't even sorted video yet for NOLA. So that, for me, it takes like a week for me to decompress, like go through the video and then reassemble the story in my mind. Nick usually is quicker on it by a day or two, but it takes us a week to kind of even get to where we could film, and then assembling it takes for John, it takes him somewhere between a week and 10 days usually. So
I am very excited. And it plays into the video thing, but he said he was going to do it last year. I am really excited to see that Sajeev is now traveling to different races.
Yeah, we should have Sajeev. Sajeev will be at Gingerman in June.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is fantastic.
Honestly, maybe it's just your travel schedule is allowing you more time, because there was a point where there were only 4 of you going to everything.
Yeah.
And you probably just were so burnt out that you could never get to the videos.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is the churn of events makes it difficult to kind of find that time. I'm leaving for Pitt in a week, so hope to have the video filmed by then. Probably will. Probably early next week. But then it's another 2 weeks after that probably that it comes out.
That's awesome. Can I say what my favorite part of the new videos are?
What's that?
The sticker on Nixon's head.
Oh yeah.
I zoomed into you,
Yeah.
and hopefully that's recording that way on the YouTube. But I'm like, there's an E1R sticker in the back. Now that I mentioned it, you're probably going to turn his head around. But
Yep. The one over here. Let's see.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
That's the Moot Point Racing one. And I think White Trash Racing is here, which is Albert Wenzel. Good dude. So, there's more on the back. I just haven't turned it around yet.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
sorry, I ruined it, right?
Totally. To do that for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, thanks for looking out for us.
Appreciate the plug.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Brandon.
We
Yeah.
love you.
That's what we're
Good
looking
with that.
Keep adding stuff. I don't know if anybody notices.
Now we will.
Now there's going to be a CSI Eric's bookcase.
Over here is
Enhance.
my weirdest junkyard find ever, by the way.
I gotta
Okay,
repeat
let's
your
see.
Video.
It's a stack of Charles Bukowski books that were like on the library section. I don't know how much you know about Bukowski, but it's read by pretty
Nothing.
old assholes.
Okay, good.
So some creepy loner dude probably had a stack of Bukowskis while he was living in his car. So they are all properly seasoned. So if you would like to purchase
Wait,
them,
there's a whole pile of
there's a
them.
whole pile of them. Yeah.
Did you have to
yeah.
pay? Did you have to pay for them at the junkyard?
They were $1 a piece. So,
No.
so if somebody would like a stack of Charles Bukowski reading for their loner habits, hit me up. I will sell them to you at a reasonable price.
I do really like going to the junkyard and looking through the cars. That
Yeah.
is one of my favorite games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Chris
was
is like, Chris pulls all the parts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a parking ticket from this
I
guy.
love. Oh my god,
I was
there's paperwork I have to read. There's an envelope I'm opening.
I know.
I have my favorite one of those, which was in a blue Volvo 244 that had crashed into something, had suddenly been taken to the junkyard. The guy didn't have a chance to clean it out, obviously. And there's like all the stack of paperwork. I move something, and under it is a pamphlet that's like about your sex addiction, and then
Oh no!
and his Farm Bureau card with his name on it was like next to it on the floor, and I was just like, ugh.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
feel
I'm not
like-
from the Midwest. What's
I-
a farm bureau?
Oh yeah, it's a long
I feel
story.
like a Volvo 244 and a sex addiction are just
Well, that
died.
was, he was
opposed.
trying to get away from it. He's like, well, I got to do something. Like, all right, first step, get a Volvo 240. That'll
Drive
help.
it.
That'll
Drive
help.
a box. Gonna drive a
right.
box. Gonna drive a box.
Oh no,
I remember-
Can't say that. Can't
Wait,
say
box.
that.
Don't say
Can't
box.
that. Yeah.
I have a box. What does that mean? That's terrible.
Mm.
Oh my god, Eric, this is why you're the 5th host.
Thank you. I think
Oh.
What happened to the Howie Makem head? The Howie Makem head used to.
it needs restoration. I have it.
Okay.
It needs some fresh paint, and I need to remake the ears. But yeah,
Sounds like a great penalty.
it is. Yeah. Well, that was how it got made in the first place. But it is in my. I think it's in my closet back here, actually.
Everybody who doesn't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about, you have to Google Howie Makem GM.
No, you just need people to read Rivet Head by Ben Hamper.
I
This
love
is
that. Love.
a great book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we talk
Okay.
about that like every time you're on.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
Rivethead comes up.
Such a great book. I have a
Okay.
signed copy. Andy Diderossi got me a signed copy.
Oh, that was
Ooh,
pretty cool.
cool.
My favorite part of that book is when they are playing with a hockey stick and bolts.
Hot,
And they
no,
are
hot
flick-
molten hot rivets.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they were rivets, okay, and
Yeah.
they were flicking them at each other's ankles,
Yeah.
and, like knocking people the fuck out.
Sounds great.
Going on Amazon now. Fantastic.
I can lend
All
you a
right.
copy. I got it on my bookshelf.
Okay, good. Are we good? Are we taking
we've-
enough of Eric's
I
time
think we've
tonight as
talked-
we usually
yeah,
do?
Probably.
Are we
We
Eric's been
overtime?
awesome.
We should
Thank
probably
you.
land. We should probably try to land this plane with our
Yeah.
next to
Yeah.
final segment.
Yeah.
It
All right.
is- Oh, do you want to plug first?
No.
Eric? No. Okay.
Okay. People know where you live.
If you're,
24 hours of
listening
lemons,
to this
yeah.
show and you don't know where to find Eric Rood and the 24hoursoflemons.com,
Or the Rusty Hub,
Rusty Hub, yeah.
the original handicapping site. You bet on lemons.
It
Yeah,
is
that-
time for
like sportsbook.com, but yeah.
On the spot.
All right, Eric, this is an on the spot for you personally.
Oh Christ.
Yeah.
No, it's really
That's a
good.
good one.
For those of you tuning in for the first time, on the spot is a question that we ask that is completely not in the notes, and the person being asked is unprepared.
Go.
So we're prepared to offer you a judgmobile at the New Jersey race, but it's a matter of spot is which judgmobile shall you choose of the choices? Because we thought this would actually be a difficult choice, more so for you than for many people, actually.
It's promising.
To bring to the track on Friday or Thursday night or Friday morning, whenever we get there, and use it all week. Use it all weekend as you please. Either the 2005 Acura NSX or
Targa.
the 1984 Doug Nash Crossfire injection Corvette.
Targa.
Ooh.
It is a tough choice.
While he's thinking, do either of them still smell like ass?
No,
No, they smell great.
they both smell fine now.
The Acura never smelled like ass.
I know. Well, I didn't say which one.
They both smell fine.
We had a long discussion about the odor removal. When
I
you get
gotta
a
say,
car.
if we're going for the panache of being a judge at a lemons race, an NSX is like it's a little too refined and tasteful. So I think I got to go with a Corvette.
All right.
Especially if you're rolling through
Millville.
Millville.
New
Yeah,
Jersey, yeah,
exactly.
that's
You'll fit right in.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad at this one because I think I'm going to have to drive that from my house to the track. And I'm really not excited about that.
It's only like 90 minutes. It's not that.
I would rather
Oh.
drive the other one.
Maybe I'll be able to fly into Philly instead of someplace else, and I could do that.
You know, I can fly into Philly.
Yes.
And
Yes, you
then
can.
You
Yep.
can
Drive
bring it to him to just the airport. and
I could
give
do
it to
that.
him at the
Airport pickup. Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Here is
Nice
your
service,
beautiful
yes.
Corvette.
It's like two row.
Do you
Here,
have a white
here's
suit?
here's here's your Corvette. Here's your mullet wig. Here's
I
your
have-
gold chain. Here's your tank top.
I have my Corvette jacket. I don't know if
Mm.
you've seen it. It lights up.
Oh yes!
Excellent.
Oh my God! I forgot about that thing. It was so you got it as a bribe at
Yeah.
Gingerman.
No,
Love
Staub's
that.
got it for me. Yeah, I got
Oh,
that, and I
yes.
have my
Yeah.
wedding attire, which was like tan early '80s Western wear. So
Nice.
you know, it's
That's close.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll make sure to get the radio tuned to Whitesnake right
Yeah.
before you get it. So,
what do you mean tuned to?
Yeah.
Default to it.
that's true. Yeah.
I
Well,
was thinking
poison-
John Hammer on
Yeah.
Luke,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Any hair metal is acceptable. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Good. Problem
All right.
solved.
Noted.
And if you're listening, if you were a judge in New Jersey, which car? Put on our social media. Put it down here in the comments. Which one would you take?
No. I have a better challenge for them. What would you bring that you have in your possession that you
Oh.
could lend to the judges?
Much better
at
question.
your
What would
local
you
race?
bring Eric as a judge mobile for New Jersey?
I love
Or not
this.
necessarily Jersey.
Or
Anywhere
wherever,
else.
you know,
We got
if you're
Jersey
in
covered.
Colorado,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
what
right.
can
Yeah.
you bring?
We
What
might
car
have
do you own?
competing. We might have competing judge mobiles actually.
And
No, you just chose a Corvette. Everyone else
Yeah.
lost.
Well, he could have.
No, well, the other judges. I mean, we're gonna be having,
Yeah.
you know,
someone else will have a Daewoo Laganza that they got off a Toro. That's
way cooler. Than that.
What?
Yeah.
A churro.
Yeah.
Dave,
One-
Excellent.
the
Day
one person
room?
like poor. Oh no, so Dale and Ken always drive. I'm trying to think who would get stuck with the Altima. They're gonna roll up on Thursday, and be like, "What? Oh
Yeah.
man!"
It'll be Jay.
Enterprise.
Kim
Yeah.
always gets
It'll
a
be
van.
Jay.
Yeah. Mitsubishi Outlander. Oh. Okay.
Okay. Let's go. Okay. Are we ready?
Are we ready?
Yes.
Are we, I'm
Yes.
sorry, we don't have
I
the
mean,
music
I
ready.
am ready. If
Go.
okay, fine. Only half of us are headed to pit for the first race of the year on the East Coast, which we're really excited about. We'll be talking about the track, some cars that we can't wait to see, and planning for the race and for what we're planning for this race and beyond. Also, here's a note: we're having potluck, so make sure there is a share spreadsheet. We've shared it on the forums and the Facebook, so hopefully you've seen it. We've been blowing it all up, and there's a lot of food on there, but we're happy to have yours. So sign up there if you can. If not, just bring some food and make sure you bring something that is not already half eaten and not and is cooked if it needs to be cooked. Please bring a spoon. We want you to join us. That'd be Saturday night.
I paused the music so you
Thank you.
could say half-eaten pizzas
Yeah.
are not acceptable.
It's true. Or open bags of
Oh.
chips.
The whole idea behind a potluck is to bring a lot of something.
Enough for your team, please. And thank you.
Exactly. If you're bringing 8 people, you got to bring enough food to feed 8 people.
And not
For
8
those, the
things,
Cheetos, please.
not 1,000 pounds of store-bought potato salad. Pick
Yep.
something else.
It's on the spreadsheet. That way you don't duplicate it. And these
Yeah, sure.
potlucks, the potlucks that Chrissy organized, if everyone follows the rules, they are always exceptional.
This one should be a good one.
Eric, again, thank you. You've reached the end of the episode. Nixon, thank you. Everyone else, thank you for coming. And thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building. Everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. If you're watching us on YouTube, type right down there in the doodly-doo, and we'll talk to you. We'll say hi. Hit that like and share button or whatever you can. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can text mental. You can text in pictures of your junk or what you would bring as the Judge Mobile, 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook, Everyone Racers, even Reddit /E1R. Eric, do you got a Reddit page? You do. I knew we asked that last time.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that you have Reddit. You're supposed to be anonymous.
Incidentally, I got texted pictures of junk this
Oh,
weekend.
nice.
Yay.
Very good.
Yep.
Well, until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless you're in a Doug Nash 43C4 Corvette, then we know both sides are shiny because that thing is mint.
Or it's
just
leaking
keep-
a lot of oil. and
That's
shining
true.
too.
It's shiny from that. Or just keep those wheels down.